So yeah, Kingdom Hearts can be really frustrating at times. Oh, come on. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this iconic death screen. Most of the time, it's because of the super challenging boss fights like the Data 13 or the secret ones like Sephiroth. However, that's to be expected. These guys were made to be challenging. It's meant to be so rewarding when you finally beat them because after hours and hours and death after silly death, you can finally brag to everyone that you beat this really challenging aspect of your favorite video game series. Nobody is gonna think any less of you for dying time and time again to Data Axel on your first attempts. Hell, I'm thankful and so lucky to have such an amazing community as you guys to cheer me on while I tried to beat him for 3 hours straight. But I'd be remiss if I failed to mention the many silly ways I've made Sora perish to even the most standard mobs over the years. Where are they coming from? Why am I struggling against regular ass nobodies, dude? Which is why my goal for today is to list at least one enemy type from every Kingdom Hearts game, excluding the mobile ones that made me want to throw the controller as much as a super boss. I'm sure there are a lot of you who can relate to these, as a lot of them have tortured us all since the very beginning. And if I miss any that you think should be on this list, I hope you'll leave a comment down below to tell me. And hey, like and subscribe while you're down there, helps the video, blah blah blah, you get it. To begin, let's talk about the Wizard Heartless. These guys are frustrating as hell, not because I've died to them specifically, but because they often appear in swarms of other Heartless and act as support for them. That's why I'm telling you, as soon as these guys spawn in, you need to knock them down fast, because targeting other Heartless will allow the wizards to rain hellfire upon your poor spiky head. Thunder magic is their speciality, and once they start using it, it will tear your HP up until there's nothing left. Not only do they get invincibility while casting this spell, rendering your Keyblade swings completely useless, but after using magic, they can warp away to any other side of the room if they choose so. Once you combo them, they're not so bad, but man, it is such a hassle to chase them down.
You're stupid!
Rechain of Memories famously used a lot of the same assets from Kingdom Hearts 1, including the Heartless, but instead of just repeating what I said, I'll say that my pick for Chain of Memories would have to be the Pirate Heartless. It's a little hard to say, and maybe not many of you can relate, but these guys can be really annoying if they catch you in their flurry of sword swings. That is, if you're just unlucky enough, they can keep you locked inside this infinite combo. It's a little hard to explain, and in my experience, it's also very rare, so I don't blame you if you find this completely unrelatable.
Just eat your ice cream.
Hover Ghosts are the most bullshit enemy in all of 358 over 2 days, and this goes uncontested. If Misery and Pain had a third best friend, it would be the Hover Ghost from 358 over 2 days. When Vanitas had his 18th birthday party, he only invited the Hover Ghost because no other being in the face of the planet was as evil. Days was already full of unfair boss fights, but now we got unfair mobs too? And the Hover Ghost sits uncontested in this sea of challenging foes. The thing is that they aren't actually that hard to beat necessarily, it's just the fact that they can instantly kill you if they somehow manage to lay their hands on the player character. They teleport away, you're unsure of where they are, then bam! They're right behind you. They grab you up and they lift you up into the air while slowly draining the life from your soul, depleting your health in mere seconds, while all the player can do is helplessly watch. I've had to restart entire missions just because of these guys. It's not even funny.
Another dream about him.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is widely considered to be the most popular game in the series. Even to people who haven't played the rest of the games, they'll pick it up, and it's because of its really fun combat and difficult boss fights. So that pretty much doubles the possible number of people who will agree with me when I say that the Hot Rod Heartless is beyond just annoying. It's infuriating. I'll say it again and again, but standard mobs do not need invincibility frames, especially not when they charge at you again and again and again, thinking they're Lightning McQueen or some shit. Get out of here with all that. And of course, how could I possibly ignore fear personified? I mean, I fear no man, but that thing terrifies me. I'm, of course, talking about the dancers. Of course, the special nobody associated with the vexing Larxene would be the most troublesome of all. Much like the Hover Ghost, these things aren't so bad, but you need to make sure that they won't even lay a finger on you. Slay them with the quickness or suffer the consequences.
You saw the boy in the mask?
Yes?
There's not much I want to say on Birth by Sleep or the tank Toppler, but I just wish that it wasn't so difficult to get behind them to attack their weak spot. Other than that, they're just a bunch of cuties and I wish them the best. Also, fun fact, did you know you could actually turn into one using a special ability? It's pretty neat. Try it sometime.
It's Riku! They put bugs in him!
Before you ask, no, I still haven't touched Recoded, but when preparing for this video, I wanted to talk about the Angel Star Heartless, and noticed that they were in this game as well. So there's my loophole for this time around. Angel Stars have this weird thing where they will float away from you while firing off arrow tornadoes at the player, and you can of course reach them with some air combos, but the frustrating part is that when you do reach them and start landing these hits, they wrap themselves up in their own wings and become impervious to all physical attacks. Basically blue balling the player from ever laying another solid hit on them.
That's nuts!
I personally don't find any of the nightmares in Dream Drop Distance annoying, and believe me, I've tried to remember. I'm even in the process of replaying Dream Drop Distance for the first time in a while, and try as I might, I really can't find one that really bothers me enough to really dig into it. However, to make sure this list stays somewhat consistent all the way through, I'll pick the Zolephant. Purely because it killed me the most on my critical mode playthrough on 3DS as a kid, because I was completely underleveled through most of the early game.
Got an idea?
And it might even be a good one, too. Hold on.
Alright, 0.2, let's get it. Flamecores are here because they suck and I don't like them. I'm including them on this list for the amount of pain they inflicted on Sora's ass in 3, but also because there really isn't many Heartless types in 0.2. So between the options of Earthcore, Watercore, and the Fluttering Heartless, I think it's safe to say that the Flamecore is the worst of the bunch. Grim Reapers do not need to have this much HP. They just don't. Every other standard mob in Kingdom Hearts 3 is pretty balanced in my opinion, and there is literally no bias there. I swear. And that just about does it. This video was meant to be a slight buffer between bigger projects, but I hope it spikes some conversation down in the comments. What enemy caused you the most trouble and grief? Let me know down below, and while you're there, please maybe subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm working on big stuff. Bye!